Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
I still think there's some things that we've got to, clean up a little bit, but I feel pretty good about, where we're at. I mean, I think probably the biggest thing of anything is just getting all of our guys back and healthy and ready to go. I mean, we've had a lot of guys that, missed some time. So I think that's probably the biggest thing defensively. I think there's been a lot of it that's sorted out in my mind over the course of the last month. Yeah, I like where we're at defensively.
Dennis Allen after practice on Thursday, kind of getting ready for the regular season and inching closer to the cut-down day. Of course, the Saints will play the Titans on Sunday in the Dome, and then after which we'll see rosters cut from 90 to 53. And as I always remind you, it's not the final 53, it's the first 53. Yes, it's the final. We used to refer to it as the final 53 because it was the final round of roster cuts, as there were 3 series of roster cuts. Well, now they just go from 90 to 53. But it's never the final 53 because there are always going to be guys that make the roster, that 53-man roster, that as soon as you see the rest of the free agents after the other 31 NFL teams cut their rosters down, there's more than 1,000 free agents. Somebody among those 1,000+ free agents is bound to be a better option for your team than someone you kept on your 53. And sometimes it's strategic where you keep someone to protect against another team signing them. And then maybe you make a move and you sign them to your practice squad. We'll see how all that ultimately goes. But it's never the final 53. It's always the first 53. So we'll get an eye. It was interesting, though, because the Saints on Friday announced 4 roster moves. So 2 additions and obviously 2 corresponding moves. We have the story up at louisianasports.net if you want to check it out. So the 4 roster moves, the Saints have signed linebacker Andrew Dowell. More on him in a second. And also defensive tackle Cameron Peterson. The corresponding moves, they've waived defensive back Caleb Ford-Dement, and they've waived injured defensive end Trajan Jeffcoat. I'm really bummed about Jeffcoat. If you remember, Jeffcoat's a guy that played at Arkansas and Missouri during his time in college. Took a year off of. He came on the show after he signed with the Saints as an undrafted free agent. Played at Missouri. Took a year off of football. Finished his career at Arkansas and was just a good leader, a great story, and was playing well. Suffered an injury that's going to cost him his season, so they waived him. I would assume with an injury designation. So we'll see what happens with Trajan Jeffcoat if he's able to get healthy, give it another go at the Saints next year. But adding Andrew Dowell really is the story here. Dowell was a guy that was really productive for New Orleans. He's a 3-year NFL veteran. I shouldn't say productive, but he's a guy who's played for New Orleans. He was originally signed as a UDFA back in 2019 out of Michigan State in 2019 and played in 34 games for the Saints and primarily was a special teams guy. He made 21 special teams tackles. He recovered 2 fumbles. And he was a backup linebacker, but primarily was a special teams guy. The disappointing thing is he was on track to make the team a year ago and then missed the entire season with a knee injury that he suffered in the preseason. But the year before, in 2022, he played in all 17 games with 7 tackles and coverage on special teams, forced a couple of fumbles. So you're talking about a guy that had established himself as one of the guys that we often talk about, why I focus on roster spots 51, 52, 53. Generally, you go into knowing who the first 48, 49, 50 guys are that are going to make your roster. A lot of times, it's just those final 3, 4 spots that are up for grabs, and usually it's guys that can help you in a variety of different ways, like Andrew Dowell did, a guy who showed he could play linebacker, but really made his case because he was such a good special teamer. So he could help you on all the special teams units and be a capable backup linebacker. And played in every game in 2022 and then missed the 23 season due to an injury. And now, presumably, healthy, and the Saints have signed him. So let's see if Andrew Dowell, coming in for this final preseason game, if he plays, how much he plays. And then, if if the Saints are able to find him. Now, Peterson is another interesting case. So the other Cameron Peterson, he's a defensive tackle who started his career at McNeese, and then finished his career at Southern, where he played his last 2 college seasons. 6'5", 280. He signed a free agent contract after the draft with the Baltimore Ravens in 2023, and now is coming back to the state of Louisiana to join the Saints. So he's a Houston native, practiced in veteran minicamp for the Saints on a tryout basis, and apparently they like what they saw, and they need probably a body for this game. It's a good opportunity for him. But Peterson is a secondary thought here. Andrew Dowell is the interesting one because he's a guy who's proven he could play at this level, who can make the team, and can contribute on Sundays. He's a Sunday contributor. We know that if he's healthy. So is this a thing where they were just waiting for him to get healthy? Now that he is, does he make the roster? That's going to be one certainly worth watching. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.